Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. I can't believe my book is finally out. It's called Get Off the Tools and it is available on Amazon. If you're in the hair, beauty or aesthetic space, no matter what level you are at, this is for you. It's 1 year's worth of coaching in a book. So go and grab yours now. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Life of KG. And we thought today we would talk about staffing, the issues we have with staff, the horror stories we've had with staff, how we manage that and how we just overcome it, I guess, because I think the one thing I hear all the time is that people are wanting to pack up shop just because they're done with the team.
It's
and
so
I've been
sad.
there.
Yeah,
been
we've all been there, haven't we? And I think it's really, really sad when you do get to that point where like the staff are all in, like running the show.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like it's your business. I've been there.
Oh my God. Every time I've wanted to close or to sell, it's mainly because an issue's happened and I just want to run away from it.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I get that. Oh God, yeah, it's the biggest burden, but also the biggest reward. Like when you've got your team working brilliantly, there's nothing better.
No.
When a team are working harmoniously, no drama, everyone's just doing their job, doing what they're paid for. Like you are paid to be in your role and do the job that you're being paid for. Just do it. Just show up, do it. You don't have to get involved with anything else. It doesn't have to be like life or death situations. Just turn up and do the job.
Yeah, and I hear all the time as well, like, oh no, I don't want to hire staff. I had a really bad staff member, and it's normally because I've had one bad staff member, and then they just so put off they don't want to do it again. And I completely get that as well, because I think it takes time to become a pro at recruitment
and firing quickly,
like hire slow, fire fast, but it's like such a big thing that if you do have a bad team, it will put you off. But actually, like you said, it's the best thing at the same time. We would never be able to do what we do now if we didn't have a team. It just would, you wouldn't have all the salons if you didn't have teams.
And the salons are only as successful as they are because of the people that are in them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not just me. Like I'm probably 20%. I'm just a visionary. But the actual, the teams, the ones that are in the salon, like when you see the reviews, I don't think it will ever get boring when I see good reviews.
No, it's the best thing as well.
Yeah, and if I'm ever having a shit day, I just look at my Google reviews, like just all the forest ones. I just think that's what it's all about. Yeah. And those team that are doing their job and showing up and caring and giving a damn, that make it all worthwhile.
Yeah,
for me, like for sure. But it's all about culture.
And creating that culture is hard, and it starts with the salon owner to be able to create that culture in the first place.
Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah. How do you think it's best to create a culture?
Oh, it's such a big word, isn't it?
It's a really hard thing to...
Well, culture is like, a lot of people don't even know what culture is and how do you describe it. It's basically how people behave when you're not there.
Yeah.
What is it that's embedded? And it starts from you, the owner. Like, what are your expectations? What will you do? How will you go above and beyond for your clients? How do you speak to people? How do you speak to your team? How do you lead? How do you act? You know, if you're bitching and moaning about people to certain people, then guess what? They're going to do the same. That's what I mean about shit rolling downhill.
Yeah.
Because if you are creating a cliquey environment, then
it's the culture
you're breeding that. Yeah. You're creating that. You are setting that process and you are putting that in place. Sometimes it doesn't stem from the top. Sometimes it stems. I've had it. It stems from a manager. And the difficulty is I don't work in my salons and I live 2 hours away from them.
Yeah.
So culture is so important to me, and having people that I trust and that I can rely on to run the business like it's their own. And then I manage them remotely, fundamentally. And I've not always got it right.
Yeah.
And also there's a time when, people have just been in the company too long and they need to move on. There's normally like a 5-year window, isn't there? After 5 years, it's like people become really stale. People are bored. They don't want to be there. And you need to be comfortable having that conversation. I don't think this is working for either of us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had that quite a lot where people have been with us because we hold on to our teams for a long, long time.
Yeah.
We don't really have high turnover at all.
Yeah.
So they'll be with us for like 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah, I've got one coming up to 10 years. Although she is part of the furniture and I don't ever want her not to be there.
Yeah. And that's really, really good. And a lot of the time though, it is like, hey, people do just get done and you need some fresh meetings.
We had someone leave, bless her. She's been with me since the very beginning. She left and set up on her own and she set up a beautiful salon. But she is local, you know, and clients are finding her and it's really difficult. It's really difficult. I've had to stop following social media because I was like seeing it and then seeing clients that's tagged and seeing that they're our clients. And,
yeah, it's not nice. But also
really
when
messy.
people leave, it's just the way they do it, isn't it? Like if they do it and they go off beautifully after you've like trained them up and they've worked with you for X amount of time, it's like you've only just got to love that they're progressing, spreading their wings and all of that. Like they've
just
got to
don't
do
burn
what they've got to do.
bridges.
But don't shit on us while you're at it.
Yeah. There's also a lot of noise about the like training costs, isn't there? And like, how dare you leave me? I paid for all of this to do your training. But there's an element of me, it's like, yeah, but did you need them to do that training to earn you more money?
They've made you money in the meantime.
So I want one of my therapists at the minute to do laser. It's down to me that's I've paid those. That I haven't actually paid them yet. That cost to do the laser. So that's my choice. I can't charge her for that. Yes, it's an extra qualification, but I want her to do it to drive revenue in my salon.
Yeah. We make sure that everyone signs contracts when we do them on any type of training. Yeah. So if they are with, do you not do this?
Yeah, I do, but I would only enforce it if they left really shitly. Like, or if they left within like a really short space of time. Yeah. Because fundamentally, you know, you get your money's back within 6 months of a training course potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. We do it within 2 year, 1 year and a 2 year sliding scale.
Depending on what training it is and how much it's cost. Yeah. But there is an element, like I do nails and waxing. If I do the waxing training to get them to the level that I want them to wax, I can't charge them for that. No. Because I've employed them. Yeah. And then trained them to what I need them to do. I think, you know, like McDonald's wouldn't be charging their staff to get them there.
No, there's element. It depends on your investment, right? Yeah. If someone's going to train someone in permanent makeup and it's costing them $8,000.
Yeah, of course. Then that's totally different because that's a skill set they could take with them and set up.
Or if the owner can't train them in their own stuff in the salons. Yeah. But even with that, we give the qualifications out in the salons, but they will still sign a form in case they leave.
Yeah, I agree. I just think there's an element of, did you need them to do that and have you earned the money from
But what percentage of people have left from you and left in a bad way? Majority?
One. I know it's because I fired her.
Only in a bad way. We've had so many people that leave in a bad way. Not so much over the last few years, but before that a lot.
Yeah. But then your culture's probably changed as you've evolved as a business leader.
I actually think I know the answer to this. I could be wrong, but it's literally just come to my head now. Because before, when I was very much
saw the little light bulb go off then.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, ding,
actually know what just happened. Let me teach you all. When I was in the salon or more present, I would have more of that relationship with the team. Yeah. So I actually think that they left in a shitty way because they felt that they would hurt me if they left in a different way. Like, meaning if they told me they were going to set up, they'd be like, oh God, I can't tell Kate that I'm setting up down the road from her. Like, that's going to really hurt her. Or if I tell her I'm just going to go in and I set up secretly after, it saves that awkwardness.
Because you were too close to them.
Because we were too close to them. Maybe. Whereas now when they leave, I can honestly say hand on heart, other than one person because she was with me for so long, now they come to me and they say, okay, I just don't know if I want it anymore. Or I don't know if my heart's in it anymore. And I'll have that honest conversation with them. Well, why don't you go and look for something else? And it's not normally because they want to leave to go to a salon. I've never had that.
They want to try something different.
It's either want to try a different career or they want to go out and do it themselves.
I also think it's how you're showing up, in the respect that you're showing up as a CEO that's supportive, encouraging growth, encouraging development, because that's what you're all about. Yeah. And if you're saying to people, that's your culture, right? You're saying do you know what? I totally support that. You want to go and find yourself, you go find yourself, but we'll always be here. Don't burn your bridges, and we'll always be here. If there's a job available and you want to come back, you can come back.
Yeah, and it's really nice when they do like come into the salon, they still have some beds, they still get their nails done, they still do whatever they used to come into, and it's really, really nice that they do that.
Yeah.
But that's only been later on in my career, which I've only just figured out sitting on this couch, than before. Because actually in my mind, I think because there were so many bad staff issues that happened,
you had
that's
some
all
really
I can
shit
see.
Experiences, haven't you?
I've had some really freaking shit experiences.
Are you going to share them?
Can
Can you share them?
I don't know if I'm legally allowed. Do you think I'm allowed?
Of course you're legally allowed. Like what? Nobody can sit. Like how long ago was it?
A long time ago.
You know, as long as you don't mention any names, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, like I've had it where I was really close to teams, really, really close. And we've had the normal stuff where it's like someone will set up down the road or start stealing your clients or poaching them, like all of that stuff. Again, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
I've had it where I don't know about it. I remember I don't know if I can talk about it. So I just fucking out it.
Why not? I mean, like, it's all about authenticity and all that. But how are we going to teach other people? Like, this shit happens. And staff members seem to feel that, not all the time, I think we've got really great teams. I feel like I've got the best team I've ever had, actually.
Yeah.
But people see us as, I think some of my team in the past just think that I'm rolling around in a Rolls Royce and I've got mounds of money and I don't give a shit about anybody. They don't see all the other stuff that goes on, and that's okay. But also, it's the entitlement that people think they can just take whatever it is you've built and then run with it. That boils my piss.
Yeah.
Because the audacity of like looking at that business, whether you like me, whether you like what I've done, whether you like my brand, that's beside the point. It's taken me years of graft to build this brand, and I have worked tirelessly. I've missed out on my kids' childhood to build this brand and to gain clients and attract new clients, for someone to come in and go, I'm just going to take what I want and I'm just going to fuck off and I'm going to build another business and I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
However, it never works out anyway.
No, I've had a lot of the bad mouthing. So people will leave and then be really, really bitchy towards me and make vile rumours. We've had it where someone's made such a vile rumour about me while they're still working for me, about a really sensitive subject, really sensitive. And I had to find out through my PA at the time what was happening.
But didn't this person then go and tell clients that you were at fault for something really serious and it was actually nothing to do with you?
It's nothing to do with me
whatsoever. That was disgusting behaviour.
And it literally spread like wildfire with clients, with outside people, like to the point where I felt like I couldn't even show my face in case people believed this vicious rumour. And I can hold my hands up and be like, that had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't think we should share what the rumour was, because I don't think you should give it any light or energy.
No.
But it was disgusting. And also, it was completely blame, and you are owed an apology for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. I don't think you'll ever get one.
No, definitely not.
But you held your head high, but that must have been really hard.
Yeah.
How you went into your business showing face when clients had been told that you were like this evil woman.
Really, really, really bad. To the point where I've had to have therapy about that and everything. Like, and it's still...
You should send her your fucking bill.
Like, however many years later will still affect me to this day.
But you know it's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I can see it in you. Sorry, like, don't want to bring it up. I can see it how,
but it's like real. Like, people don't understand. Like, that's massively affected so many things. And then the laughable thing is, they set up shop down the road from me.
Is it successful?
I don't know, and I don't really care. And you know what? I still wish them all the best. It is what it is.
Right.
But it's just funny, isn't it? People are horrible. I've had someone before in another business that I had, hairdressers, and she left. Oh no, she didn't leave. I sacked her. And she started telling everyone that business was failing and that I was homeless. I was like, just bought my house, but thank you very much.
I fired someone recently, and she told the entire team, "You better watch yourself. You might as well get out now because this whole shit show is going down or something." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh my god, just
But people are dickheads. People can be dickheads. But the true cream does rise to the top. And when you get those good people, my God, you hold on to them and look after them and build that culture. But what's the worst situation? Would you say it was the rumour one?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was my worst situation. Like, I wish I could literally just spill everything that happened just so people are like, oh my God. Because when people tell me, like, oh, this person like has done this or this person's done that, and I'm like, well, no one would cope with what I went through. Like, and I will honestly say, hands on heart here as well, like, I was a mum then and she was 2 at the time, Lola. If she wasn't here, I would have ended my life.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was that bad of a rumour that went through. Like, it was only Lola that kept me alive. So, like, that's just being honest. So when people have staff problems, like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm so passionate. I get it.
Oh my God, that is shit. That is shit that one human being
on
so
a
when
mission
you have to
can
drive
past that salon, however many times when I go to mine, I don't want to pass it.
No. Oh my God.
But people don't
Thank God for Lola Rose.
No, I know, my little angel. But people don't understand the effect that things have on others as well. So when you are like in a job and you're wanting to leave or anything like that, just be honest. Like, have that relationship with them where hopefully if they're a good boss as well, right? Like, have that relationship with them. Tell them what your plans are. We've had it where we've had really what we thought loyal members of staff for a long time, and then they will text the clients and be like, "Oh, come to us, it's cheaper here."
Totally illegal. I would literally report them to ICO.
And it's just
for GDPR.
like,
is it ICO?
Yeah.
It's ICO, isn't it? For GDPR.
Yeah.
Completely illegal, and you can get hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of fines for that. I would pass that on.
Yeah.
But I've actually put that in my gross misconduct now.
Have you?
Yes. I've done a really strict gross misconduct policy, but actually I've really emphasised about GDPR, and it's not about me being an arsehole, like, don't steal my clients. This is completely illegal. You cannot use any personal data from your clients for personal use other than for the treatment or service that are booked in for. You cannot. There is absolutely no way a therapist or stylist or anybody should be contacting a client outside of what they are booked in for.
No.
They can get in so much trouble.
Yeah. And I think do you find it's hard? Because actually it's funny because we had, it's not really a situation, but I saw it mentioned the other day, where the client has contacted because it's through social media. Now, we have social media policies, and this client might be going to this therapist like every 2 weeks for however many years. Obviously, they've got friendly.
Yeah.
So then when they're contacting each other outside of work, how do you deal with that?
Nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do as long as they're not booking appointments for them. There's not a lot you can do. If they become friends, it becomes a bit unprofessional. We've had it before. We've had therapists that have become really friendly with clients. And actually, I kind of like it to some degree in that they're building such a great relationship, but then it becomes a problem if that client is contacting the therapist for appointments, you know? So that's when I've basically made it very clear that you can be friends, like, but they still pay full price.
Yeah.
And they still, they book the proper channels and not via that therapist. And that therapist doesn't treat them any different to any other client that's booked in.
Yeah, no. It's really difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Making sure you've got them boundaries.
Yeah, it is tough, especially when you've got like younger clients and a younger team. That tends to happen a lot more.
And I know as a therapist as well, like when I was doing treatments on people,
you do get a great bond.
Some of my best friends now were who my clients
were. And actually, I've got great relationships with some of my ex-clients in Farnham that still tell me what's going on in there, you know?
Yes, yeah. I think that's what another beauty of it is when you build these relationships with people and the clients. It's like, we're not in our salons, but I don't know about you, but I always say to my girls, anything that happens, you know, it's going to come to me first.
Well, there will always be outage. There will always be someone that goes, do you know, someone's poaching your clients because someone is like contacted me.
Yeah.
And there will be therapists that think it's like, that have the audacity to think that it's okay. They will always be caught. Theft has been my one. I've had loads of problems with theft.
Really?
Well, I say loads, like 3. but in the 10, 11 years now, 12 years. Yeah.
Really? We've had tips go missing.
Yeah, we've had that. That was probably my saddest one, actually.
Yeah, because then it's the rest of the team, isn't it? It just affects everyone.
Oh, it's horrible.
And
it's
we've had
horrible.
stock.
Have you?
Yeah.
I caught someone on the cruise ships once.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God, this was a really interesting one. Oh, this is juicy.
Oh, give us a juice.
So she was a South African therapist. We used to get a lot of South African therapists who are phenomenal. Their education is some of the best in the world, and I love South African therapists. All other therapists are great too, but you know.
Any South Africans apply here?
Oh, yes. I just love the standards of education, the same as Australian education, you know, like for beauty, it's phenomenal. So we used to have a lot of South African therapists on the cruise ships, and this was my second or third management role. So it was on the Oceania. So I was like 25, 26. And this girl used to pretend to really like me, but I knew she fucking hated me. You just know, don't you? You know when someone's looking at you and you're like, you are literally, like, if you could murder me in your sleep, you would. You hate me that bad, but to my face, you're being lovely.
Who would ever hate you?
Oh, God, there's been a few. So anyway.
Do you think people have cut out versions of us, like
Mate,
voodoo dolls?
She had a fucking voodoo doll of me. I'm not joking. She had a voodoo doll of me. Yes, she did.
Oh,
absolutely.
My God, I was actually joking.
That. No, you called it. So I knew that she was nick and stock. I just knew it. And it was all professional size, and it wasn't Elemis. I think we used Guino at the time and Chanel and stuff like that. So there was another company called Borghese we used to use. Taugo as well. But yeah, I knew that she was nick and stock. And so I contacted the security team, and we can't just do a victimized cabin search, but we could do cabin searches. So you have to do like at least 3 so that, you know, you're showing that you're trying others. And I found she had 2 drawers under her bed, and they were just full of professional size stock.
Oh my God.
And we also found a voodoo doll in there of me, boobs, blonde hair, fucking pins, all in it. But this girl was a Reiki therapist, and she done Reiki on me, and she fucked me up big time. This is why she's pretending. Yeah, it's really dangerous. And she was pretending to be like my friend or just support me as a manager, because, you know, it was a big team, my biggest team yet. And she gave me Reiki, and I felt really odd. Like instantly felt really odd. I have never, luckily, touch wood, I've never struggled with depression or mental mental wellness or illness. Never had any like sadness or low moods really. I felt like I wanted to throw myself off the back of the ship, and I was standing on the back of the ship because it's just been my favourite place. You know, you watch all the waves. I loved it. If you've just had like a 14-hour day, sometimes I just go and stand at the back of the ship and chill out because it's normally the quietest as well. And I used to stand at the back of the ship going, I just don't want to live anymore. I don't want to be here. I can't be here. I don't want this anymore. And I don't know why I feel so sad. And I kept on just like being really angry and really aggressive with the team and really like stressy and short. I was drinking really heavily. And I thought it was just because I was drinking too much maybe and trying to party, but I wasn't like, I'm actually quite a happy drunk. And I don't normally struggle like, I was sometimes the day after, but like, I don't really struggle with like being an aggressive drunk, but I was becoming really aggressive. It just wasn't me. And a couple of the guys that like I used to hang out with, the coxswains, they, one of them said to me, like, his name's Steve, he's such a ledge. And he was like, you seem really off. Like, what's up with you? You seem really angry. I said, I feel really fucking angry. I feel like everything, all of the bad emotions that I don't normally feel, I feel. Maybe it's time for me to give up ships. Maybe it's time for me to stop. All of these things. And this other therapist called Giovanna was beautiful, the most beautiful soul. And she pulled me aside and she went, something's going on with you. What's happened? And I went, I don't know. And she went, what happened like 2 weeks ago? What is just when you changed? I went, I don't know. Like, I had some Reiki. She went, what? I said, yeah, I had some Reiki. And she went, who with? And I told her, and she went, fucking hell. Are you kidding me? I said, no. She went, she is literally. So she was a Reiki master as well. And she pulled me in and she was like, sorted me right out. And I literally cried the whole way through it.
Oh my God, it's giving me shivers.
Yeah. And then then I kind of got myself back, and then we done the cabin search, and that's when I found the voodoo doll, and I was like, that motherfucker. She was trying to get me to like throw myself overboard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right? You want to talk to me about shit staff?
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dangerous.
Yeah. I had, at Centre Parks, we had like a whole team of people that were like all together in a syndicate of theft. So we had one person take, because we used to get like 25 grand worth of stock delivered in a month, you know, like it was big orders. And it was all Elemis and Carita we used to use. What else did we use? We used some really big brands. I think we had Declior as well then. And they used to do, there was one person doing stock ordering. It's not their money, they're just paying with an account, you know. They're doing stock ordering. And it was like the stock was coming in. And then that person that was doing stock ordering was responsible for it. And there was a spa assistant that was in on it as well. And then the guy that was working in the cafe selling it.
Oh
and I found like professional sized products. I mean, it was so badly done, but professional sized products being sold on eBay from Somerset.
Oh my God. Obvious.
And the guy had his picture on it.
He didn't.
This 19-year-old guy had his fucking photo on his eBay account selling Elemis Professional.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a whole like massive. I don't know how much it was, thousands of pounds. It'd been going on for God knows how long. But one person was ordering, one person was siphoning it off, and it was all being sold and then ordered. Like they had a whole fucking thing going on about. Like,
oh my God.
one person, they would sell it and then they'd buy it, delivered the next day, siphoned out. So we had the security team like helping me doing like car searches and stuff.
Oh, so you're a pro at all of this.
Yeah, I am really, like, when it comes to investigating, I had a cash theft in Farnham and we were losing 20 quid a day. And it was like, not every day, but it was like 10, 20 pounds going. And I was like, what's going on? It worked out. I couldn't get to the bottom of it. And in my kitchen, my old house, we had all those sticky whiteboard things all over the walls. And every day I would put how much is gone. And it was only me and my manager at the time that was doing anything that anybody knew about. And she was phenomenal helping me with that. And she would cash up. She would count the cash every morning, count the cash every evening, and then tell me where the differences were. And then I would log who worked that day because she wasn't cashing up every day.
Yeah.
And then we would log who cashed up, and then who was in the morning, who was in the afternoon. And the problem is, it was the same 3 people, and I just couldn't get to the bottom of it. We put a camera in place, couldn't find it. In the end, I got one of those massive safes that you bolt. For anybody that has a salon that still deals with cash, have a safe that's bolted, and it has an envelope that you go in.
Yeah,
so
it does.
It's brilliant. So they have to cash up, put it in a plastic sleeve, and then put it in the safe, and it's only the manager that has a key. So that's come from all of that. But yeah, we figured out, and that was the same thing that was happening with the tips. But it worked out, it was like $3,000 in cash.
That's shocking. Wow.
But I knew who it was. I just couldn't prove it. So we found another reason to exit her, and she needed to go. And then the theft stopped. And we knew that she was having personal circumstances problems. We knew there was lots going on. And the team did as well. And that was the hardest thing. They were like, why can't you just go fire her? But we just didn't have the proof.
No, because you've got to be so careful, haven't you, firing people over theft.
You've got to be careful firing people
anyone
in general. But if you have the evidence, I've had one recently, which was free treatments. So one of my management team had given free treatments to a previous manager, which is theft. Which is awful because I really liked her. I didn't want to do that, but you know, it's still theft fundamentally, whatever way it's wrapped up. And I had an external HR company help me with the investigation because I was too close to it, and I had such a relationship with them. And I was like, it's not okay. You can't just be given free treatments. This is my time. I'm paying your salary. I'm paying that other person's salary. I've lost the revenue. I'm paying stock. Why do people think that's okay just to do whatever they want?
No, I know. I remember that I had a team member and we was going to an event, and the day before the event, I was like, let's get us massages. So went to this really nice spa. I can't remember where it was now, but it was nice. And had these massages. And anyway, got back in the car. All of a sudden, she pulls this product out. And I was like, oh, did you get something from the shop? And she was like, no, I took it from the treatment room.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, excuse me? So I took it from the treatment room. I was like, you can't do that. Like,
who thinks that that's okay?
And she was like, I'll do it everywhere when I get a massage. And she listed off salons that were local that she'd done it to. And I was like, you work in the salon. and actually work in one of my high teams as well at the time. And I was like, I just was so baffled. I was like, how is this a thing?
What did you do about that?
I was just like, she didn't stay long after.
No. That is shocking.
But obviously I couldn't get rid of her because of that. I had to figure out other ways. But yeah, how bad is that? If you haven't been on a business retreat, this is an absolute game changer for your business. I know so many people are so nervous about traveling on their own, being abroad, going on holiday, basically with a bunch of people that they don't know. But honestly, you will be so thankful that you made this move in your business. I host 2 business retreats twice a year, and they're all different places around the world. So go to kgbusinessmentor.com, press the retreat tab, and you'll see where we are going next in the world. Go and grab your space now.
I mean, I could go on for hours about stuff. I've been bullied out of tried to be bullied out of my own team. That was hilarious. Like, it wasn't at the time, it was when I first set up Movies. 2 of my team members, like in cahoots, were so nasty to me. So nasty, like proper mean girl, talking behind my back, telling clients about what a shit manager I am. Like,
we've had that loads.
All that, you're like, what do you think's going to happen from this?
Yeah.
I pay your salaries.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's the result? Do you think that you're going to take over this business and that you can just step in and run it?
Yeah.
No. What do you think's going to happen? Why do people think that that is okay? If you don't like where you work, go.
Yeah.
But you can't be a mean girl about the people that are paying your salaries.
I've never understood it. And it's when they talk to clients about, we had this as well. And normally with the staff that's been with us for so long that they think that it's okay to talk to clients a certain way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's saying about, the amount they're on and this and that. And you just think, what? Like, I don't get it. But also I feel like we might have put everyone off employing staff or taking on a staff member. But I think it's just dealing with people, right? It is,
but I've learned more. Well, I mean, managing people is fascinating as well. But like you say, when you get that culture right and you get the right people,
yeah,
I hate bitchiness. I hate it so much. Like, I will do everything in my power to prevent it. And anybody that has brought any bitchiness to the business, I want out. I want them out.
Yeah,
I can't bear it. That toxic culture. There's like, you can always see that, like, there's one rotten apple, can't you? And they're normally really negative. They're moaning a lot. Yeah, I had one staff. She was bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But she thought she could fix the entire world with castor oil. So everybody would get a lecture about castor oil, clients, people, everybody.
Oh my
everybody.
God.
And she's really into conspiracy theories. She's really into all of that. She's a very strong character and really nice as well. But she fucking hated me as well. She did.
More voodoos on the run.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I've dealt with nearly every single scenario.
Yeah.
Theft is always one for me that gives me the ick. Because also there's an element that I kind of understand it as well, like that entitlement, but that thought of, well, I don't get paid enough, so I'm going to take what I want. I don't get treated the way I want, so I'll take what I want. It's really quite spiteful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I think that
good luck to them when they go off and realise it's
so
hard.
underhanded, isn't it?
Mm.
But I've also been that therapist. So, like, when I worked on the ships, I was manager, and if I wanted a Chanel makeup, I would take it. So I feel like I've had karma.
What do you mean you take it?
Well, because I used to do the stock, so if there was a spare tester, I'd take it.
Yeah.
But I also worked in perfume when the days of testers were given freely, and we all used to be able to help ourselves to the testers, and it was like the norm. That was the culture.
Mm.
So whenever there was testers, because we had Chanel makeup, whenever there was testers, it would be like, yeah, free fall. Just help myself.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not like still in a
I know, but I feel like there's a bit
product.
No. I would never go into another person's business and take it, but I feel like every time I've come up against, I'm like, is that karma? Is that because I used to help myself to the testers? The Chanel testers.
Fee.
I used to make so much money with the Chanel makeup. I used to just be booked back to back with makeovers.
Really?
On the cruise ships, yeah. I used to do so much like turnover with that. because it was so easy to sell. I'd just do the same sort of makeup. Everyone wanted the same sort of thing. And I used to sell loads. So if there was a spare tester, I'd have it. But that was the entitlement. And that's what I mean. Like, I kind of get that mentality. I don't like it. And there's got to be ways of getting it out of a business. But it's all down to culture, pay. You can't always pay the best, but you can be the best.
Yeah, and you can create
you can be the kindest.
Like, you can create the best workforce and the best community to be able to work in.
Yeah.
But there is a different mindset between employee and employer mindset. And I see that from Luke. Like, he's a massive grafter and he works really hard. But at the same time, he'll be like, it's not my business.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
And actually, you don't want everyone to think that it's their business, because otherwise you're going to have too many chiefs and not enough Indians, right?
Yeah.
But I do think there's got to be some accountability. I believe that people should, knowledge is power, and the more information people have, the better decisions they make.
Mm-hmm.
So if my team understand the ins and outs of the business, then they can make decisions based on that knowledge. So not ins and outs, but like, I done a video recently for the team about, I don't know if it was the right thing to do or the wrong thing actually, but I'd done a video to explain the pay rates.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, look, I've tried to make it as fair as possible, right? Because with the new pay structure, my lowest or newest therapists were getting higher money than the people that are already there, which I'm sure you've come across with everybody. So then I had to match it for everybody, but that's costing me 25 grand for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't have, obviously, just because minimum wage has gone up, although it's not minimum wage anymore, it's living wage, and the government have taken living wage. And oh God, it's so difficult, isn't it? But I said to them, my goal, my mission is to be the highest paying salon chain in the UK. It's a big goal.
It's a big goal and I love it.
And I really want that, and I want it in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have to get through the next 18 months because I'm still paying off COVID debts, where everyone sat on their arse and enjoyed the garden, and I was paying all of it and then paid all their holiday, you know, like all of that. I'm still paying all of that. People don't think about all of that, you know. And understandably, otherwise they'd be running their own empires, wouldn't they?
1%, baby.
So, yeah, I kind of explained that and just said, look, I would love to give you more. I don't want my team on the threshold of living wage. I don't want that.
No, I've always hated it.
But you're going to have to be now. I've always paid about 20% higher than minimum wage. But now living wage is there. It's so much higher. I can't pay more than that unless you're on different thresholds. So I have like a pay grade system.
Yeah, I love that you do this.
So it's like 2.1 is qualified therapist. 1.1 is like trainee. Although I don't ever have any trainees because I want employed qualified therapists straight off the bat. So 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and then a 5 and a 10-year ratio. So they have like an increment of each one. So within one pay grade, you can increase your salary based on performance.
Yeah.
And then you've got a experienced therapist, and then I've got a supervisor, and then duty manager, and then salon manager and admin roles in there as well. So everybody, it's really clear. There's no room for error, because I've been caught out before where I paid someone higher because they were really experienced. The rest of the team found out, then they bullied that person out. That was really awful. And the manager allowed it all to happen as well, and actually was in on all of it, you know, supported it all because they didn't want any conflict. So yeah, the pay grade system does work, but I've said that first pay grade, that 2.1, has always been higher than minimum wage, but now it is just living wage.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, we want to do these things, but when the government take it out of our hands, it's
that's it.
hard.
But I've done this video just to explain that to the team.
Yeah.
Whether they liked it or whether they don't. And I've explained to them, like, we've taken bonus structures out. I just need the dust to settle. Although we've done a price increase, we don't know how many clients are going to still continue coming.
Yeah.
It's a risk, and I don't want to oversell stuff. I'm already paying more, and if I'm not careful, my businesses will close.
Yeah,
because there's only so much you can pay. I want to pay everybody loads, but they might not have a job if I pay them more than what I can.
Yeah.
So I've said to them that we've got goals of different things that are happening in the business. However, you need to just ride it out with me for the next year while I'm on this mission. And
I think it's really good to be open with teams like that.
I do.
We've always been super open with outgoings and, you know, pay rates and all of that stuff, because they need to understand. Otherwise, if they don't know, they don't know.
Yeah, I did ask for feedback, and the feedback I got was, if there's no bonuses, then what's the point in working harder? And I was like, that's really sad.
Interesting.
But also then I've
Well,
done a
because
staff
if you're not
survey.
going to work harder, then you'll be the first to go.
Well, yeah, but it's a really, I think it's like, it's just the mentality, isn't it? Like, well, I'll just do what I need to do then, okay.
Yeah,
But I'm actually expressing to you what my goal is, and I'm expressing to you that as a business, this has to make money, not just for me to drive a Ferrari. I don't have one. It's for us to then put back into the business to then pay higher salaries. I can't just pay higher salaries if the business isn't making any money.
No.
So I don't know I didn't want to know who it was that said that, but that was just like one team that said, this is like the feedback is that what's the point if they're not getting a bonus? And I was like, well, okay, but the bonuses have only stopped just for the interim.
It's temporary, yeah.
While I figure out another one, because also bonuses, if they're not they shouldn't ever be contractual anyway, but people just get used to it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Like, you can change your bonuses whenever you want. We have like 1 month's notice we've got in ours.
Yeah. So I spoke to a guy the other day who said he pays for, I'd love to do private healthcare, but it irritates me that we pay NHS, plus they pay NHS, and then I'd do private healthcare. Like, it really pisses me off. But he pays private healthcare, and he said his bill was $2,500 a month.
Wow.
For his team. He said, you know what? None of them even give a shit anymore. I was like, that's really sad, isn't it? What would happen if you take it away? He goes, well, that's it. They'd all kick off. But it is a bonus. It is like an add-on. But the expectation, especially with people that have been there a long time, the expectation is that you just get it now.
Well, it's like the employment assist line and everything, isn't it? That we pay extra into it, but no one uses it.
Do they not? I think we do. So I've got a few people that do. I do think it's great, but also I think we don't necessarily talk about it as much as we could do.
But you do put, but people sometimes then just expect, right?
That's the thing. The more you give, a lot of expectations, and it's a real shame because there's always that one neggy ninny that then ruins it for everybody else that is really grateful and is really appreciative. And it's a shame, but 99% of my team now are phenomenal.
Yeah, I've got the best team I think I've ever had in 16 years currently.
It's a good position to be in, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also, do you feel like the longer you've been in business, the less shit you take?
Oh, you just don't take it, and you're not emotionally connected to it now. But I think because I'm not emotionally connected to it, that's why employing's easy. That's why letting people go if I need to sack them's easy. That's why if they do leave because they've got another job, it's easy. It doesn't hurt me. Like, it comes with so much time and practice and going through stuff to get to that point. Like, recruitment for me now isn't hard. Like, managing people isn't hard. It's more of a natural thing. But it's taken time to get there. But there's no emotion connected to it. And it's not because I don't care or love them, because I do. Like, someone needed something the other day and I was the first one to offer them it.
Yeah.
And that will still always be the case.
Yeah.
But they're not my sisters.
Yeah.
That's how I used to look at it. They're my family, they're my sisters, they're not.
No. And also,
but
they're
it doesn't
not seeing
mean we
you
don't
as
care.
family. That's the difference,
No.
isn't it? And I think there's an element when you first start out in business, you're so grateful that people are choosing to work with you.
Well, yeah, you're like, oh my God,
grateful,
I can't believe they want to work for me.
Yeah, you do kind of start out in business like that, don't you? Like, oh, I'm really pleased that they're doing the work for me and that they're driving the revenue and all of that. But then you realise very quickly that also you're providing stability and an income and pension payments and, stability, all of this structure that comes with having an employed
It's
role.
so true, because I do look at it now like I'm helping you feed your family. Like, we're providing jobs.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Like,
and there's not many of them.
Your wage
used to be.
goes on to, look after your children, pay your mortgage, all of that. Whereas when I opened it, I was so young in opening, and actually the people I was employing were older than me. I was just so grateful for them.
Yeah.
Obviously, then I employed people that were all different ages, but lots of them might have been a younger team. So they were more like my little sisters. So it's really funny how you evolve as a person, as a business owner, and you grow with your companies, and it makes like such a massive difference. But you just become resilient to it, and you're just like, do you know what? It's just business. Like, it's business, and if you want to be in business, then you've got to put them big girl pants on.
Yeah. Exactly. You've got to put the big girl pants on, and you've got to do it with some bloody ethics, man.
Yeah.
You've got to do it with, like, karma is such a bitch. I've seen it happen so many times. We've got one situation. When's this airing?
About July. Got a
Oh,
while.
amazing. Okay. So we have one circumstance. She's leaving now. But she has...
Timescale's great. It's fine.
It is, yeah, we're good. And she's an incredible therapist. Actually, one of the best therapists that I've ever had. Phenomenal. She has set up a business. So my slogan is like, let's not beat around the bush. Is one of my slogans. It's all over my website. And also the Lady Garden. Yeah, is the name of my treatment rooms. Every salon nearly has a Lady Garden. It was one of the first names I came up with. In Farnham, the Lady Garden is my salon. There's only one treatment room. That's the name of it. Movies was built around a garden theme, you know? Anyway, she has set up a waxing clinic called the Lady Gardener. I mean, there's a million of them anyway. There's like so many businesses called the Lady Gardener. It's unreal. And like whether it's waxing or whether it's, so you'd never be able to trademark it. However, she set up a business and she carried on working with me for a few months, 6 months, and still doesn't see that there's a problem with it.
Oh my God.
If that's not a big fuck you, I don't know what is.
That and she knows that you know.
Of course she does, yeah.
And
I'm not going to fire her for it because, like, there's no reason to fire her. There's no reason, as long as she's not poaching staff. But that audacity.
But how do you know that?
Not poaching staff, sorry. She's not poaching clients. I mean, she works in a different town, fundamentally, anyway.
Okay.
And the clients that she has are still coming to us.
Okay.
She's still only doing 1 day in her clinic. It's not like she's growing her business. She might do now, but, you know, she's a phenomenal therapist. But she's also very smart. You know, she knows.
Is she smart?
Yeah, I mean,
no.
I think she's just another one that can go in the I hate Amy bin, you know? There's a few of them in there and that's fine. But she, she's set up in like a room independently. She's only working there 1 day, but she's leaving me to go and do a job completely out of beauty. So
really?
But she's still keeping her clinic, the Lady Gardener, like 1 day a week or whatever she's doing. But when it first came out, I saw it on socials. I was like, are you for real? You're actually still working in my business and you're calling your business under the name that you work, the room that you work in?
You're a better person than me. Like, I wouldn't.
Well, how you can't fire someone for that. She knows that. That's what I mean. She's smart. She knows that. And I don't want to fire her for that. But I just think, first of all, I think she looks like a bit of a knob.
Oh, well, yeah.
And to any clients, like, can you imagine being a client and the therapist that's doing your waxing is going, oh, I've set up a business. So imagine you walk into your treatment room and it's called the Lady Garden, right? And then you're having a chat with your therapist. She went, I've set up a business. It's called the Lady Gardener. Do you want to come to me? Can you imagine what a knob you'd look like?
I actually think that clients are more loyal than we think they will be, or people are so scared about clients going and this and that. And yeah, handfuls of clients will go. Like, it's just the way it is. But you saying that, they do look like twats. So it's like
big fat hairy ones.
So it's like a client's going to be like, what?
Can you
and
imagine?
The naughty is going to be with the salon.
But also, she would know that because she's really smart. And she has got, although it makes it sound really bad, she has got integrity. And I know it doesn't sound like it, but she actually does. And I think it's, at first I was actually more pissed off with my manager that was friends with her that didn't tell me. I was more pissed off that she hadn't brought that to my attention and that they'd all planned this, because then it feels like mean girl. It feels like it's more than just a bit of obnoxiousness. It's real mean girl behaviour. That's what pissed me off the most.
Yeah.
But when I sat on it, I was like, do you know what? I think silence is actually more powerful in this situation. I'm not going to say anything. You can all feel a little bit on edge if you want, but I'm not going to say anything. And you know, she's left by now, and it's okay. Good. I know, but you know, you just think, what makes you think that that's okay?
Oh, I don't know. People,
but now you're in it, and her branding was all about bushes. Like, even some of the images that I've got on my website, I was like, you know, that's pretty similar. There's an image on my website. It's a sliding image with wax over a bush, and like her branding's all about trimming bushes. I mean, her social media was hilarious. Like, it was funny. In the end, I stopped following it all, obviously, but I was like, I can't believe that, one, I find this out on social media, and two, that you're still going to work for me. Why?
Yeah, it's really, really ballsy. But
I just think it's her way of going, I think I think it's her way of saying, see, screw you. I've got one over than you. You know, like, just people, man. People. So, yeah, she can stay in the I Hate Amy club. Who else is in the I Hate Amy club? There's quite a few.
I think I've got quite a lot for the old team, not the new. No one in the last, I'd say, 5 years.
But you can't be. I think that's really hard about being in business, because when you're in our industry, we really give a shit. We care about people. We care about. We just care, don't we? Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this industry. You wouldn't be able to do it if you didn't care. And I think we still have feelings. But people see you very differently.
Well, they think we're robots.
Yeah, there is that. We're sitting on our millions and millions of pounds that they're all working really hard for. You know, that's the perception.
Yeah.
And perception and reality are very, very different. I'm like, you know, you guys all have mortgages. I'm still renting.
Yeah.
Let's put that into the equation, shall we?
Or you guys can get mortgages quite easily because you're on payroll, but being self-employed is a different ballgame.
Yeah, but you're right. Clients do tend to, they see through a lot of that.
They will always see through it.
Yeah. I did have a client tell me off once about how I'm running my business, because I had a staff member tell her whatever their narrative was about how I run the business. And I had this client that had the audacity to tell me what a shit show my business is because of what they'd heard from the staff members. That was hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she called me a joke. Yeah, that was nice.
Oh my gosh, people just cease to amaze me.
I know. In the dickhead bin.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone would want staff or to even set up a business after this episode.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think I've got anybody in the teams now, though, that are even close to disciplinary or anything like that.
No.
And this is probably the first time. And I actually, my Horsham salon has always been a little bit of a struggle. And anybody in my business, like, we've struggled, like, financially, but with the team, there's been quite a high turnover. The culture's just never been quite there. And also it got to the point, like, I can go into Farnham and I have no interest in a celebrity status. Like, it actually makes me feel really uncomfortable. And I've got a few franchisees that want to, like, wheel me out in front of clients. You know what I mean? This is Amy Lewis. This is the CEO of the company. I'm like, I hate it. It really makes me feel uncomfortable. And where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so when I was going into Horsham, I could feel, like, the tension. I could feel like they just didn't like me. I could feel what was going on. And it was really difficult because I knew there was, like, what was the messaging, what was the language, what was the word that was passed on to the team. And I got to the bottom of it. It was very, very much like, if I told the manager that something needed to change, the way of delivery was, Amy's just told us to do it, we've got to get on and do it. It's like she's one of the team rather than the leader, saying, we are making this decision because this is right for the business. Yeah. We are doing this. It was never that. It was like, yeah, well, Amy's told us, so we just have to suck it up. That's really toxic. Yeah. Really toxic. And anybody that's got a salon that's running remotely or having a manager, please watch out for that.
Yeah. The language has to be we team.
We are running this.
Salon.
And you have to have that partner in crime. That manager is so important. You have to be able to trust them, and they have to be able to run the business knowing what's right for the business, and not just because their friends are in it and they're doing what's right for the team. And it takes a very strong character trait to stand up to a team that you work with to say, no, this is what's right for the business.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out to say we don't have a choice.
Yeah,
it's a real
you can't
cop-out.
employ people out of a manager role just out of, like, long term that they've been there or because they're really good with clients. It has to be because they're good at leading teams. Yeah.
And unfortunately, this person was an amazing therapist and at first was an incredible manager, but actually the drama superseded the management, but also the general kind of delivery of any changes was, Amy's told us to do it. Or if she was having a rough time, it'd be like, Amy's giving me a hard time. So they all started siding with her and it was like me and them. It was the weirdest experience. I've not had that before. And I would walk in and it would be so cold.
Yeah.
I was like, how can this entire team, I don't see you. I see you like 2 or 3 times a year. Like, how can you all fucking hate me so much? What is going on here? I got to the bottom of it. Basically, I've got a new team. And not all of them, but it's completely different. And I went there a couple of weeks ago and it was just like this black cloud had been lifted. And it was the most beautiful experience. Like being in my own salon and feeling like welcome.
Yeah.
feeling like it was the right place. And it was just all because of a couple of people.
It makes such a big difference. Like, you can just have one or two people
Yeah.
that just stir the pot, and it makes it a really uncomfortable place to be.
But also I'd had like the narrative was very much like this one person that we had in for a very short time was her problem. That's why we've got no business, or that's not no business because it's a very successful salon. But that's why we're struggling. That's why we've not got any big like new growth. That's why we're not getting any new clients, or why we're losing clients. It's because of this one person. But actually, I had some feedback about a month ago, I think it was, that we lost about 6 to 8 clients because of a previous member of staff and because of the drama they were bringing to the team.
Really?
And she was the one telling me all the time it was because of somebody else. Yeah, because they weren't enjoying having treatments because it was all about the staff's personal drama. Like, why do people think it's okay to use clients as therapists?
I don't know. Like, we had to have a real change around with our culture with that, because when I had different managers to what I have now, a lot of it was that drama based. And it was a time where I didn't want to go in my salon either. I was like, I don't feel comfortable in there. This is a few years ago now, but it's changing that culture again of being like, guys, it's not about you.
Yeah, it's not. Like, these people are paying you.
They're
I'm paying you
so much money.
They're giving you tips. Like, just be a great therapist and listen to them. You don't have to tell everybody what's going on in your world. Why do people do that?
I think it's where they build up these relationships over, especially in our world, because they're doing nails in every few weeks or whatever. So when the client goes, "Oh, hiya, how are you doing?" And then blah, 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 it all comes out. It's like, no. Just say, yeah, I'm great, thanks. How are you? Yeah. And then change
What's going
around.
on? How was the holiday? How was your wedding? Whatever it is. I don't understand why therapists are using our clients as, I think it's, maybe people are a bit lonelier nowadays. I don't know. But also,
it is a real thing. Like,
when I was first starting out in therapy, it was an absolute no. Like, you would be fired if I was talking in some of the jobs I've had. If I was talking about myself, I would have been fired on the spot.
Yeah.
Like the health farms or like Henlow was, anywhere like that. But any of the big spas, like Centre Parks, absolutely never would you be talking about yourself or personal circumstances as a therapist.
No.
But you wouldn't have that rapport either because it's a spa, but
it's not okay. Like, it's not your time to drain the client. Like, they need to go out feeling uplifted, not worrying about you at home when they, when they get in the car thinking, oh God, she had such a bad this or that, or like.
The clients do tell you as well, though, don't they? They will say, like, if it's going downhill or if it's not happy. Do you do client surveys?
Yes, not as much as we should, but we do them.
It is one of the most valuable tools I've ever done in my business. I do it like twice a year, and they will tell you. And the ones that have left don't want to come back will still tell you if they're on your mailing list. They'll still be there watching to see if it's improving.
Oh, they're always there watching, and we do quite a lot of personal reach out with that. If they haven't been with us for X amount of time, we will personally reach out. Even if that's like a personal text or whatnot, and give them that platform to tell me really why didn't they come.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the time it might just be circumstances, but there will always be then people will be like, well, this
therapist, you're like, oh,
thank you very much. Yeah, because unless you tell us, we don't know.
Yeah, especially if they're in treatment rooms. It's different when it's out doing nails or whatever, but if you're in a treatment room.
No, and I think a lot of people are scared to do the outreach because they don't like the rejection or what are they going to hear. But if you don't know, you can't improve, and you'll just be losing more and more clients without even realising. So it's so important to do that research.
But it's also just as important having your staff culture is also your client culture, because they have to have that opportunity, don't they?
Yeah.
But we don't get many complaints, touch wood, but when we do, it hits hard, doesn't it?
Well, it's that knock-on effect as well, isn't it? When you get one, it's like another one. They all like come together all at once. You're like, what's going on?
If I see a 1-star, literally my stomach falls out. Like, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm really good at dealing with complaints.
Are you?
Yeah, it's like one of my superpowers.
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah. Like, obviously they're not nice and I'll deal with them, but I feel that the way I deal with them, I'm very good at. So I can normally turn that complaint round and they'll become a regular client.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, just by thanking them for the feedback?
Yeah, like, it's just the way I think I approach it. I'm definitely not, I don't back the therapist. not that I don't back the therapist, but I will let the client's views be valid.
Yeah.
I will always take it back to the team and never blame the team, but go over it as a teaching ground.
Yeah.
What should we do? How can we improve this? Or you could have done this another way, or you shouldn't have done that. So no one's to blame in any aspects, but the client can be open with me with what they really, really think. I'll always apologise, which I actually think a lot of people don't do because they feel,
so
well,
scared.
actually, my salon was right or my therapist was right.
Yeah, but people are scared to admit fault as well, or admit blame because of this old-fashioned culture.
Just be sorry about it. And a lot of the time the client just wants an apology.
Just acknowledge it. Thanks. Thank you so much for taking the time to tell me this.
Exactly. Always doing that, getting them back in, making sure we do the best treatment experience so that we didn't repeat whatever happened and then they normally come back. But because the owner handled it right, they then feel safe again to return. And just kill them with politeness, really.
Kindness, eh? It goes a long way, though, because if someone has gone out of their way, if they're that mad, they've gone out of their way to spend that time doing that Google review or whatever review it is, they deserve the respect to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because if I can't grow my business if I don't know this sort of stuff.
If you don't tell me, I don't know. And all the clients that don't tell us, we might just assume, they haven't got the money this month, or maybe their mother-in-law started to do gels or whatever. Well, actually, no, it might be something that's going on in your business that you have no idea about.
That's it. I always thought that it was one particular person, and it actually wasn't. I lost 6 of my absolute, they would have been my perfect avatar clientele. And I only found out because I went to a networking group and told somebody else that knows me. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So do your research, ladies.
Yes.
Right. Shall we let him go? I feel like we've been going on for a little while. Don't know how long this is. Sorry, we might have to cut it in half and do a part 2.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I know, but also, if you're running a business, you're going to be coming up against stuff like this all the time. Or if you're thinking about having a salon, just be prepared for it. And put that culture in place, right?
Yeah, it's not to put anyone off. Just be thicker skinned, be more educated, have a tribe around you to hold you up when things get hard. You'll be all right.
Yeah, those times can be really low when you think the world is against you, when you think your team is against you. That can be really lonely, can't it?
Oh, God, yeah. You need the people to bounce off on. The right people as well.
The right people is everything.
Yeah. All right. Over and out, everyone.